What's up everyone, Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Extra special guest with us to go through an awesome series that'll help you get to the next level of your development. This is my man, co-founder of BPI, James Grage. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Known
each other for years. Anyway, James, what are we about to do here?
So this is going to be a 10-week program. This is called Rebuilt, and there's actually a little backstory on that, and that's just because I beat myself up in a car accident and literally had to rebuild myself. So this program is my actual personal routine. There's a lot of programs out there that are catered for different goals, but this is the way that I like to train. And I think what probably separates it from a lot of programs out there is this is really designed to target specific body parts to be able to sculpt. So one of the things right off the bat, there's very little compound movements, which is the opposite of what a lot of people do when they're trying to build muscle. So this is more about isolation exercises, and today we're gonna lead off. This is day one of the program. It's gonna be a 5-day split. Day one is going to be shoulders and abs. First thing, so cables. Now, like I was talking about earlier, I like to go ahead and take advantage of that full range of motion. If I were to just do, say, a rear delt fly, which is what we're gonna start with here, there's not a lot of resistance from here to here, almost none. Really, I'm only gonna feel it right here. So we are gonna use dumbbells, but we're only gonna do partial reps, and that's what we're gonna superset with. Those are gonna be right here, just at the top. You don't wanna go too high because then you're gonna start retracting your scapula, and then you're gonna engage your traps. We don't wanna use our traps, we wanna isolate, we wanna stick to our delts. So that's just gonna be a partial right here. But what we're gonna start with is a single arm with a cable. So now when it comes to sets and reps, I like to do 4 total sets for everything. The first set I like to call a recruitment set. I go a little bit lighter and I go for 20 reps. The reason is bodybuilding is all about learning how to feel a muscle. If you want to isolate, you got to learn how to feel. So it's all about technique, getting a maximum contraction. In order to do that, sometimes you got to drop down in weight, go a little bit lighter, really just feel it, feel that muscle burn. So that's for me what that first set is. It's like a mind-muscle connection set, but it's still a working set. So you can already see, even in that partial range of motion, you're still going to get retraction of the scapula, meaning you're going to use your traps, because not only do they shrug your shoulders, but they pull your shoulder blades back. So
second set we do 15. Do we go up in weight?
No, so now we're going first real working set, 10 reps.
Okay.
I do 2 sets of 10 reps, jump up and weight.
Okay.
So
you do 4 total, so you do 20,
10. Then my last one I go to my same original weight, but by then I should only be able to do about 15 reps.
Okay.
If I can do more than 15, that means I didn't work hard enough on my first 3 sets.
All right.
So now I move to our side delts. And so we're gonna start here. We're gonna stay right exactly where we're at.
Good.
And it's the exact same concept that we just did for rear delts, but we're doing for middle delts. So it's gonna be the exact same thing. Recruitment set, 20 reps. All right, so same thing. 20 reps. Partials, try to stop it before it comes back down. You try to stop right about here.
You have constant tension when you do that.
Constant tension, which a whole lot harder. All right, just like last exercise, jumping into sets 2 and 3, working set, 10 reps, heavier weight. You notice I don't rest. Look, I know Mark can relate to this.
Yep.
We're busy, got a lot of things going on. So that's how I managed to keep squeezing in my workouts through all these years, and I never give myself that excuse, because I can always squeeze in 45 minutes. And so I try to keep my workouts for 45 minutes, and the way I do it, without compromising the workout, is I move fast, supersets, very little rest. Woo! Look, if you want big shoulders, wide shoulders, this is where it's at. This is getting those lateral delts in there. That's what's gonna give you that, broad shoulder to small waist ratio. So we're moving on to shoulder presses. Now, like I just mentioned, instead of sitting upright or leaning back, we're gonna lean forward slightly, and this is gonna help engage not only medial, but also a little bit of our rear delts as well. And again, for anterior delt, I don't really need to because I'm getting plenty of that in my chest day. Superset with upright rows. Remember, wide grip. there isn't any one program that is a one-size-fits-all program. No. Know what your goal is, and then pick a program that suits that. Is your goal to get stronger? Well, then pick a program that's about getting stronger, and that would involve a lot of compound movements.
Yeah, you see a lot of marketing gimmicks, and I've tried them too. Just try them is like build strength and endurance. Generally, you're not going to be great at both. Yeah. You can build strength and endurance, but if you want to go after becoming a strength athlete, generally speaking, you probably don't want to go for 10-mile runs.
So if I were to define this program, this is a sculpting program, and what does that mean? That means it's being able to literally, like Michelangelo, carve your physique the way you want to carve it. So that's being able to target muscles, knowing how to target them, knowing how to feel them, to build up weak areas. Yeah. So that's what this is about, you know, learning to selectively put muscle where you want. All right, so went ahead and dropped the cable all the way back down to the bottom. Gonna grab a smaller bar. Now, unlike our other upright row where we went wide with these shrugs, we're actually, you know, going to take a somewhat narrow stance here. And you're going to have to put a little bit of weight on here.
Now keep in mind the traps, that meaty part right there. So when he's pulling back at that angle, just keep an eye on that right there. Look at his bulge, ladies. Look at his bulge. See, look at this bulge right here. So if you touch his bulge, you got it right here. So he's pulling back. Now look at that. I mean, you don't have field of vision on this camera, but it's literally, I mean, you can feel it contracting, and that's what you're looking for. Because remember, again, the traps are a back muscle. This is his back. This is the back. So that's where you're gonna get the most action. You go up here, there's not much. Back here is all the meat. So by getting that angle, you're just hitting a very, very good spot on those traps. So 20, 10, 10, 20.
20, 10, 10, 20, or 15, sorry. So first one, I just want you to focus on getting that good contraction. And so like Mark said, I'm not just squeezing up and dropping it back down. Bring it up and get that nice isometric contraction and then control it on the way back down. You got 3 types of contractions. You got your concentric, that's on the way up. You got your isometric, that's the squeeze at the top. And then you got your eccentric, which is controlling on the way back down. You want to take advantage of all 3 types of contractions. So here's what I do for abs. I train abs twice a week. On the first day of the week, I train upper abs. Second time during the week, I train lower abs. Now, everyone says, yeah, but abs are just one muscle. Yes, they are, but they don't always, you know, contract the same.
No, there's different focus areas.
That's why some people have really great upper abs and they have none down here because they don't really know how to make that muscle contract.
So what do you do for upper abs?
So for upper abs, most of what I do is again, I'm a big fan of the cable machine. So I like cable crunches. That's a lot of what I do. In combination with a crunch on the ground using a dumbbell pressing up. The biggest thing when it comes to abs though is technique. You got to remember that muscles either extend a joint, like your triceps extend your elbow and your biceps flex your elbow. Well, your abs are going to go ahead and they're going to flex a joint just like your low back is going to extend a joint, and that joint is your spine. So when I see people doing abs with their back straight, like for example, leg lifts, that's a really popular lower ab exercise. So if I were to just jump up right here, and if I were to do this right here, I'm not working my abs really at all.
A lot of hip flexor action.
This is all hip flexors right here. Why? Because if you were to turn sideways, there's no flexion in my spine. And that's what your abs do, they flex your spine. So for abs, whether it's upper abs or it's lower abs, you got to get that curve in your spine. So if I'm laying on the ground, you got to see that distance between the bottom of my ribs where they insert up here and my pelvis where they insert down here. You got to see a shortening of that distance. If you don't see that, you're not working your abs properly. So it's the same thing with lower abs. I see people do, you know, they'll come over here on a bench and they're going to do a lot of this action. This is all hip flexors too, because again, there's no curve in my spine. Now if I were to go on an incline bench, I can even demonstrate it here, but if I were on an incline bench and if I were to grab it, you would want to see this. You'd want to see, I've got no resistance here on a flat bench, but you'd want to see my back, lower back come off the ground. Now there's a curve in my spine. I just don't have any resistance there. If I wanted to create some, I could grab a dumbbell here. Now, because I'm sitting on my ass, like my ass can't come off the ground, but what I can do with this is this combination. My torso is coming forward and my legs are coming up simultaneously. So you're still getting curvature in the spine. but this would be a way to create resistance doing lower abs right here. So that's the biggest thing with abs. You guys have seen a million different ab exercises. Do whatever ab exercise you want, just make sure that you're getting that curvature in your spine, because if you're not, then you're not getting a nice strong contraction in your abs.
Any total sets and a rep recommendation for abs?
Look, abs more than anything, it's just like any of these exercises, you gotta feel them. But doing a million reps, to me, isn't doing anything. Muscles, your abs are still a muscle.
Hypertrophy or atrophy?
You still have to use resistance. So that's why I like the cable machine. Matter of fact, just doing what I was doing here with the dumbbell, you can do with cables as well. You can drag a bench over there. A lot of gyms have an ankle strap, and you can do the same thing. One of my favorites actually is on an incline bench. If we come over here, this doesn't even really require any resistance because I'm using my own body weight as resistance. Just using my lower body weight. Come over here, grab the top. It's this right here. But I really focus on a good isometric squeeze. Look at the curvature in my spine though.
Yeah.
Full range of motion, squeeze it. Your knees should be coming over your hip. So that's one of my favorite low ab exercises. Other than that, it's about getting that resistance. So for abs, I like to do, when I can, 3 exercises. I don't go as low as 10 reps. Usually my rep range is about 12 to 15 reps. If I go any heavier than 12, usually I don't feel the same. I feel like I start recruiting hip flexors again, and for me it's all about isolation. So I train them twice a week. First day is focusing on upper, and the second ab day is focusing on the lower abs, because I feel like it deserves, you know, its own attention.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, there's what you do for abs. So basically you want resistance, you stick to around 12 reps and around 2 to 3 exercises? 2 to 3 exercises.
All right. And so, and I tack that on, so my first ab day is right after shoulders.
And then chest day.
And then chest.
All right, awesome. Well, there's day 1, man.
In the bag.
Let's get some weight.
Post-workout.
Let's have some weight HD, man. We got to get some nutrients in.
Actually, we're going to do some ISO HD.
That sounds really good to me. So you got that over there?
ISO HD, I like to hit an isolate protein right after my workout. You know, so an isolate is a little more rapidly absorbed. So post-workout, you kind of hit that nutrient timing window. And I also like to hit, during my workout, hitting branched chain amino acids as well. If you're killing your workout, you know, it's all about recovery. You guys know that you don't build muscle in the gym. You're in the gym, you're breaking muscle down. I mean, a workout is actually catabolic by nature.
So you got to build it back up.
You got to build it back up.
And for that, we have Best BCAA. So I'll link that. We'll link all that down below.
And that's the blatant product plug right there.
Oh, there's all about blatant product plugs. By the way, these shirts are also available. So you can check those out.
That's a blatant product plug. That's a brand plug.
That's like a brand orgy going on. There's only 2 brands though. It's a very monogamous relationship.
Right.
Anyway, guys, stay tuned for day 2. That will be legs.
Cool.
All right. Awesome.